God, her and I talked about like our relationship, and like she was just so not interested in me. And we spoke about how I had to move on. But you know what? I really didn't move on. I tried, and I'm still trying, but it's occurring to me now, like, I need an audience. Like, we all need an audience. I think my particular take on the world really needs an audience. Um, because I really am a postmodern child. And like, it can get existential, absurd, literally immediately, which is traumatizing. I'm almost completely useless. Like in a very like my ability to produce work is almost ironic in a non-critical sense. My ability to interpret Shakespeare is almost akin to like self-penning my own death threats and then like just going through with my suicide. Um, it's almost like I do it to myself because I willfully live a life where I don't have an audience. The the I think the fact that my first speaking language is Polish has to do a lot with this because like besides the fact that I have a psychologically healthy interior dialogue, I have an inherent need to feel my sense of self and not narrate it. And that might be because just at a like brain level, my English speaking skills don't fulfill some like deep, fundamentally human or like anthropologically significant connection to my unconscious self. And like the problem with that is you almost look retarded and mindless, which is problematic for like very real reasons. Like I was speaking about this. I don't like ugly people, part 1 and part 2. I started talking how I'm never going to go to school. But the thing is, like, I understand how important irony is in postmodern dialogue. And I earned that knowledge, but I'm not putting it to good use. Irony is extremely significant in theater acting, but I don't play to my strength. I'm like interested in philosophy, but philosophy well, that's the thing is like literature allows you like your morals and ethics are a matter of aesthetic taste. You have to be feeding the part of you that craves aesthetic knowledge or like aesthetic sense. And like literature does that. Reading Lolita very clearly does that. Taboos are existent because people actually do those things. Like for example, not fucking your children, not fucking your siblings, not fucking I don't know, like all those things. It was literally poor people that were just rampantly doing that, that made it a taboo. And so, like, the fact that it's a taboo to read good literature speaks volumes about how bad society is modeled. Um, because, for example, like in Japanese pornography, they literally allow you to fantasize about having sex with um, your daughter. Like, if, like, right? Because that's what the taboo is, that's what it is in North American. It's always stepsister, or no, stepdaughter, or or wait, stepsister. Okay, so that's what it is. They don't like there's like censorship laws in North America due to the fact that the American psychology, the American psyche is so fucking retarded, um, as opposed to the Japanese sentiment. And no fucking shit that America is capitalist and Japan still reveres its ethnic identity over its economic um, system. Um, this is the postmodern trap. Um, you need to take things to its logical conclusion under postmodernity, or else you're seriously gonna fuck yourself up. And just, we're now living in late stage capitalism because um, the conditions didn't change at the correct speed at which were necessary to preserve um, human sensibility. We really are rats in a cage in the postmodern condition, and like deconstructing institutions requires a better or a equal or better alternative, but we literally are just zapping human civilization as globalization becomes more and more legitimate, um, for what is essentially fake value, unearned value. I think it's necessary that, like, under a postmodern um, democratic socialist nation, that people need to be learned in their ethnic tongue, outside of the citizenship that they're given, um, because it stimulates critical thinking that leads to critical dialogue in their ethnic communities. And it's that postmodernism is very concerned with um, self um, self-identity, kind of speaking from a first-hand point of view. But the thing is, the way we speak from a first-hand point of view matters. You can't, like for example, if you're in the queer community, you might not actually be queer. You might just be retarded. Like, people, oh, I'm bisexual. Oh, I'm homosexual. I'm straight. You might just have a maladapted understanding of gender and then be playing it out as a signaling effort because you haven't found a better, because you like the sexiness of gender as like a provocateur. But the thing is, what you should be speaking from is actually your ethnic identity. So, like, for example, Irish people are synonymous with alcoholism. But what if you had, like, okay, so imagine a society where, like, we're having these like individualistic like postmodern dialogues about identity, but they're not based on issues. They're actually based on national identity, or like cultural ethnic identity. So that, like, for example, like there's the Polish, there's the German, there's the Italian, and the so on. That community entails every member of that ethnic background who themselves are in different subcategories within the nation, within the national dialogue, um, so that the question of like Italians being, or the Irish being alcoholics is actually put into question when you have a queer person speaking from a from the perspective of their Irish identity and not just on the grounds that they're queer. Um, it changes the focus, because when you have that herd, when you have the collective, you respond differently as the individual, and then that narrative structure, um, like you don't get like if you're a queer person in your Irish community, like in this like there's like 50 of you and you meet like once a month and you're the only queer person, you're actually doing work in your community to change um, narrative structures. It's just that it's literally playing out correctly such that you never get away with strictly like having the privilege of looking intelligent without ever having done the work. Because this idea that like protesting is obviously a democratic right, but protesting as an alternative to actually being self-accountable or being accountable is retarded. You need to be accountable to your community, and what postmodernism allows you to do is deconstruct institutions, but like literally speaking, you still belong to a tribe. It's just that like the LGBT community itself is a cult. So I'm not even proposing it might be, but it is a cult. And so you've deconstructed society from one institution to another. It's not an equal or better alternative, it's actually a worse alternative, and then we all have to live in that filth. But if you were in your Irish community as an Irish queer person, you would be being held accountable, but also holding other people accountable on grounds that you deserve to speak to. Because you don't deserve to speak to me as a part of the LGBTQ community. Like it's a cult. I'm not gonna entertain your bullshit critically. I'm only gonna entertain it in the way that all meta narratives are legitimate. And then Derrida speaking about how language is like constantly being deconstructed, and the authority of authorship is taken away, like in a postmodern sense. I can deconstruct your narrative, but I can't, or I can take ownership and then do with it what I will and deconstruct your narrative. But like literally speaking, I'm not Irish. I can be anything else that has to do with you as an individual, but I'm not Irish. And like who judges you matters. Have other Irish people judge you as an Irish person. God, and this young woman, she's Ukrainian. Ukrainian women are, I think all women are beautiful based on their like ethnic background, but like to my taste, obviously just as a Polish person,